It's a perfect situation.
Hello, this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead. Pressure canning stewing meat. Now, last time I went to the butcher's, I bought a load of stewing meat, stewing steak, and portioned it up into 2 lots. And I decided I'm going to can it up. Now, it is more or less in chunks. There may be some big chunks, but I'm not bothering. And it's just loading it in to the jars. And I'm doing this exactly the same as I do ugly chicken. I always leave one hand free, and so that I can move things around, but my other hand I use for filling the jars. And I'm packing that in nice and tightly. And yes, I am raw packing them exactly the same as you would do for chicken. I don't think I actually need that, but oh well. So it was already cut up by the butcher, so I don't have to bother doing that in chunks. But I normally get the stewing beef and make stick kidney puddings up and then freeze them. But I thought it's limiting my options. I can actually can eat. So if I want, oh, cuckoo clock, hang on a minute, it's just going. Okay, cuckoo clock finished. Now, as I say, if I do that and make up stick kidney puddings, it means all I've got is stick kidney puddings. But if I can it up, the stewing beef will come out lovely and tender and fall apart, as when you're making a stick kidney pudding. And I can use it to make a stick kidney pudding. Let's open the other bag. But I can always open a jar of this up and add it to a jar of potatoes, put some pastry on the top, and I've got meat and potato pie. Open a jar of this up, add it to some cooked kidneys, put it in a suet pastry case, and I've got stick kidney pudding. Some of this has got frozen in the middle, but we'll see how many jars I can get from it. And yes, I will be using my tattlers as I normally do anyway, but I'll show you when I've got them all in jars rather. I've got 8 wide mouth pint jars and some left, so what I probably got was about 10 pounds of stewing steak. So what I'm going to do is put this, what's left over, in the fridge, and then tomorrow I will cook it up and make it into a steak and kidney, cook it up in the slow cooker for the day, cook some kidney with it on Saturday and put it in a pastry case, and there's stick kidney pudding for us too. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a stickily pudding out of it. I might make a pudding and a casserole as well, making it stretch. But because this is meat, we need to wipe the rims of our jars down. So just go round all of them. I have squished them down as much as I can do, and they're at the correct head space, which is 1 inch. Now, because this is cold product, which is the raw meat, in cold jars, the water in my canner, my pressure canner, 16 quart pressing, is also cold. I have some new tattle lids that I'm using today. Now, I got these from eBay, which I've got all my lids from before, and these don't seem the same. This is one of my old ones, and can you see the colour variation in it? It's a colour difference. So, although they're in a Tattler box, I'm wondering if they're actually Tattlers, or Tattlers have changed their products, and they do feel a bit thinner. So we'll try them out, see how it goes. Yes, what I'm going to do, because I've got some of my old Tattlers, I'm going to do half in my old Tattlers and half in these new ones. So I'll be able to see, because I know the old ones work, I've used them before. I don't know about these new ones, so we'll check them and see. As I say, I'm going to try both. So let's put my old ones on first, and so I know the difference. I've got these pink lids, pink tattle lids that you've probably seen before, and I will use those to denote my old ones. And how I put them on is just, as soon as the jar starts rotating, that I found is sufficient, rather than turning it and turning it back. That has been sufficient for me. So that's all I do. Out hot. Another one of mine old ones. That's it. Let's get one of the newer ones. Whoops. And I'll carry on doing these and see, and bring you back when they're in the carrier. As you can see, I have now got all 8 jars, wide mouth pints, into my pressure canner. It's a 16 quart pressure canner. I've got 4 of my old Tattler lids and seals, and 4 of the new ones because they look different. It's raw meat, which is cold, so I've got cold water in the can because they're also cold jars. So now do your checks on your canner, which is, yeah, camera battery died on my other camera, so I'm using this one just to show you. Jars in there, this, which is your steam vent pipe. Make sure that you can see through it, blow through it, no problem. There, can you see the light? That's what you're looking for, that you can see through it. This overpressure plug at the back, you want to turn it over and make sure it drops, which it does do. And yes, I've got potatoes in the background because I'm doing some, but that's what the checks you need to do. Also, that it has been oiled around your gasket. Now I do it every time or every other time that I use my cannon, so I know I'm perfectly fine. I've now put the lid on and I am going to, well, turn the heat on and slowly, you don't have to give it a blast of heat for ages, just slowly. You can carry on doing things in the kitchen while it slowly comes up to temperature. And then when it vents a steady stream of steam out of this vent, then I'll come back to you. It's now had its 10 minutes venting a steady stream, so I put my weight on, and once it comes up to a jiggle and I know it's at 10 pound of pressure, I will time it for 75 minutes. It's now had its 75 minutes and I let it cool down all by itself. I didn't try and cool it with cold water, I just turned the heat off and let it cool down while I was doing other things in the kitchen. When the overpressure gauge at the back dropped down, I touched the weight that was on it to see if there was any air left in, and there wasn't. There was no pressure in there, so I took the weight off, left it a few minutes and then just cracked it open a slight bit, and now I'll leave it for a few more minutes. Because I use tattle lids, they have to be cracked down and it's very awkward to show you how I do it, but I'm still doing things in the kitchen as well, so it's best for them to go on the back here, out of my way. You can't see me fetching them out of the canner because I'm on the end, so I can't get someone to film it for me, and I've got to tighten these down. So here comes the first jar. And this is one of my new tattle lids. I've been sitting in here for about a quarter of an hour and more. This is one of my old ones. And this is all I do. You can see them bubbling away nicely. I positioned them in the canner every other one, so it wouldn't be a case of one was all on one side and one was all on the other. But the lids and rings I used to use, that I've used before, they are bubbling better than those new ones. But we'll have to see how they seal. But I like putting them back here because they're out of my way and I'm still cooking things up in the kitchen, So, as you know, this is a small kitchen and a small homestead. Everything about it's small apart from me and Lurch. I'm nearly 6 foot and he's 6 foot, nearly 6'6". So I have to sort things out an awful lot. But there they are, and as I previously do, I just cover them up slightly. I'll leave them till the morning. Don't touch them, don't do anything with them, just let them come to room temperature all by themselves. And I'll show you tomorrow how the seal rate has been. I've taken all the rings off early this morning and they've all sealed. The ones that were my previous tattlers, and you can see they're holding by the seal, and these new tattlers I've bought, they're also holding by the seal. Yes, there is meat above the liquid that's in there, and the liquid is just what has come off the meat, come out of the meat, that's all. There is no liquid on the top of them, but that will be perfectly fine, they will. Let's get another one at the back so you can see that they're all the same. And you can see this fat, bit of a fat cap, because there isn't that much fat in this joint. But they're done, they're ready. I'll wash them up and then put them on my shelves. Thank you, bye.
It's a